Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'd like to thank the Friends of the Library for continually hosting these events of the Library Renovation Q&A, and tonight we're going to be able to give you a sneak peek at some of our progress. What we will do is review how we arrived at our plans, then walk you through the layout and the renderings. We will give you a sneak peek of the progress of Phase 1, and then we'll talk about how you can make Phase 2 happen and how we can do that with your help. Our history. The library started out in 1919 as a real estate office on Lemoyne Ave, started by the mothers and teachers of Club of School One. This was our modern day PTA as we know it. In 1922, the borough built a small library at Main Street and Center Ave, and we remained here until 1930, when the library moved into the new municipal building, the current one that's across the street, where it remained until 1971. The library was on the second floor. In 1965, Fort Lee Mayor Henry Hobel recommended construction of a new library, and in 1968, plans were approved. In 1971, the library opened a brand new building that was 2,300 square feet with 75 parking spaces, and this is the space we remain in today. In 1997, we built a 9,000 square foot addition towards the parking lot, which gave us a new children's room and a new second level. In 2010, the board recognized further improvements were needed, and we delivered a new revolving door, circulation desk, and restrooms, but there was still more to be done. So the planning began. In 2017, we had a brand new 3-year plan of service completed, and the overwhelming feedback was for a renovated and expanded building. In 2018, we began working with our architect, Arcarian Iovino, who created initial plans. In 2019, the Friends began to start fundraising, and then COVID hit in 2020, and everything pretty much came to a screeching halt. So now what we do is fast forward to 2022. We were slowly coming back to a new normal, and we did some in-depth research on the community's needs. And in 2023, we delivered a 3-year strategic plan, and the overwhelming feedback was that the library was needed more than ever. The in-depth research that was conducted included a townwide survey, public forums, focus groups, and interviews with stakeholders. In 2023, the Friends of the Library kicked off their capital campaign, and we resumed fundraising. In 2023 to 2024, Arcari and Iovino updated our plans based on the information we had collected and made our plans suitable to a new world that we were all faced with after the pandemic. So here's a timeline of Phase 1. So we closed for demolition on February 21st, 2025, and we did doorside services and began offering our programs offsite. At the end of April 2025, the library opened with limited seating, and most programs are still offsite. Through the summer of 2025, construction will continue. In fall of 2025, the construction should be completed, and we'll start getting ready to open up areas of the building to the public. So from November 2025 to January of 2026, we will reopen the public spaces and also start letting the public use our new meeting rooms. So our fundraising campaign is Let's Build Our New Library Together. The total project cost for Phase 1 and Phase 2 is $7,578,000. I'm going to concentrate on Phase 1 right now. Phase 1 is $2.3 million, and it covers about 8,300 square feet of the building. This is about 28% of the building. We will deliver a learning lab with all new technology, new seating area in part of the library, 5 small study rooms, and 3 conference rooms. And even better, on our lower level, we will be redoing our current meeting room. This is the one that used to have carpet on the walls, but it's going to be completely updated We're rechanging the orientation of the room, and we're putting in a brand new sound system and technology. And another part of phase one is the new library cafe, which is to your right as you walk into the meeting room. We're happy to say that phase one is fully funded, and I'll get into how we're funding it in just a few slides. This is a look at some of the renderings. So on your right, you'll see there's the library cafe. Straight back is our new meeting room. The cafe, the plan is to have it operated by an outside vendor, and we'll be going out to bid to try and fill the cafe with a company in the next couple months. Here's a better look at the meeting room. This would be the current stage as you know it now with the carpet on the walls. We're rechanging the orientation of the room to face to the left when you walk in. Next, we have our learning lab. This area of the library is towards Main Street on the first floor. If you were coming in through the revolving doors, you would go to your left. The learning lab is here. It's going to seat 16 people and have flexible seating. In addition to the learning lab, we're also going to have admin offices here. And then this area right here in the middle is the new carpet, new seating, and new lighting and new furniture. Okay. Phase two, this is what we need to raise money for. This is a $5.2 million project, and it includes the entire rest of the building, which is 2,300 square feet. It is a complete renovation of the building and also includes an expansion. What we will bring you with this is a 2,800-foot expansion over 2 floors, and I'll show you where that is when I go through the layout. This will bring us a new children's center and a new teen room on the lower floor. We're going to have even more study rooms. There's going to be noise reduction because those of you who visit us after 3, you know we get very noisy when the teens descend from the high school. Most afternoons, we have about 150 teens that visit the library to do homework and meet with their friends. I mentioned again, we're going to completely renovate the rest of the library with new furniture, flooring, and lighting. On the lower level, this gives you a look of our new enclosed teen room. If you were coming in through the current parking lot entrance and you walked towards, if you didn't enter the children's room and you went left, you'd see there's an elevator, then there's a staircase. The area, open area above the atrium would be the new enclosed teen room with glass, and it would have its own entrance. This is something that we don't have now in our current teen space. We could also double this room during the day before 3 o'clock when the teens get here as a gaming room. And we don't mean video games. What we're talking about is bridge, mahjong, and canasta for the adults that come to the library almost every day to play. The reference area on the first floor over here on your right, you'll see we'll have more glass to stop the noise from rising from the lower level where the teens are, and it tends to be noisier. We're going to move the reference desk over to by where the circulation desk is. There'll be a door so staff can communicate with each other, and the rest would just be our public PCs and seating, of course, all redone. Now, the Children's Center that will be included in this 2,800 square feet addition is going to come out over here. There's going to be a new entrance. Our current entrance is a little bit like right here. We're going to move it to the left. We're going to get actually a space above, so it's 2 floors the expansion includes. And then we'll rearrange the direction of the shelves. We'll have better sight lines. And I don't know if you can tell from back here, but we'll also have an area for the children's staff to use. Right now, we use the story tower towards the front of the children's room, which was intended to hold story time in, but it was never big enough. Here's another rendering of the new children's department. And we will definitely have better sight lines with this new layout. Another feature of the expansion is going to be a program room with a sink. This would be used for, of course, the children's room, and the sink would help us with crafts and the other things that we do that require water and cleanup. And of course, adults can use this room as well. We do a lot of adult crafting here at the library. Okay, I now like to walk you through the lower level. So the areas in green are phase one, the areas in blue are phase two. So just to review what I talked about earlier. So on the lower level, we have our meeting room. We're changing the orientation of the room. We're going to gain some closet space. And of course, this room is going to be completely redone with AV and new technology. The cafe is going to be right here where my mouse is. And then where the current staff kitchen is, we're going to move all the staff space to the left, and staff will be behind here. And then if you look over to the green where it says conference and quiet study, those are 3 new rooms that we'll be creating, 1 conference room and 2 study rooms. In the blue, you could see that all needs to be redone in phase 2, and this is the enclosed teen space over here to the right. The first floor, there's just a small part of the first floor that's being redone. That's towards the north side of the building, towards Main Street. We have our computer learning lab that is up here in the top left-hand corner. This seats 16 people. It's going to have flexible seating so we can make different configurations of the room. So it'll truly be a multi-purpose room. These are the new admin offices down here on the bottom left. And then this is the area that we're going to completely redo the furniture, the lighting, and the carpet, and add some extra space for people to sit. This is the area when you walk in through the revolving door, which is over here. That is to your left. The rest of the building on the first floor is going to be part of phase 2. Over here on the bottom right, you could see where our new vestibule is in. So you'd come through here, you'd go right to go into the children's room, and then you'd go up those few stairs or take the elevator to come to the existing reference area. You could see the new addition, which is over 2 floors. This is by the sliding doors, and picture it that it's under the overhang that currently is there now. And then there'll be a new sidewalk. I don't know if you could see my mouse on the white down here. There'll be a new sidewalk for people to pass through this area. Also, what you can see better here in the back, we will have staff offices for the children's area. The second floor, this is towards Main Street. So what we have here is the staff lounge, the conference room, 2 new conference rooms, 3 new study rooms, and a brand new ESL office. This is the area which previously the staff lounge was the director's office, and then all the space is reconfigured. There was only 2 other areas where people could use rooms, but now we're going to gain 5 areas. Again, 3 study rooms and 2 conference rooms, and let's not forget about the brand new ESL office, as well as a seating area. The part of the second floor in blue towards Main Street, while the first floor will be redone, the top floor is part of phase 2. And then over on the children's side, this is where we'll have that programming room. That's the bottom right-hand corner of the screen with the sink. And then we get a new conference room, and we get 3 more study rooms, which will bring us a total of 8 study rooms and 4 conference rooms. So if you would like to see some progress, our marketing manager made a little video. I'm just going to need to stop sharing my screen and bring up another window. So just bear with me 1 second. Okay, and I'm going to play the video now. back to my PowerPoint. Okay, so that was a sneak peek of phase one. Okay, and then I also have some before and after pictures to share. So on your left, this is the current counter. Then when we have programs, we would serve food over it, and behind it was the staff lounge. It has been completely regutted, and it will be turned into a cafe. Like I said, that will have a vendor that we'll be seeking in the next few months. This is on the lower level. This is on the left, our older meeting room. You can see the stage up front. The stage has carpet on the walls, as I've mentioned before, and the orientation of the room faces forward. If you look on your right, this is the new updated meeting room. The orientation will be going to the left. The stage is now gone, and we have an area for storage. We will be putting a portable stage in the new orientation. This is still on the lower level. This is the shared staff offices that we moved down towards the meeting room. And this is where we created 2 study rooms on the right here and a conference room. This is the area that's upstairs on the second floor north of the building. This was where we called this area the cage because it had a metal door. We also had, for some reason, a walk-in safe as a nonprofit. So we decided to knock down the safe, and that gave us some more room. This is when the safe is still there. And on the left, you can see where, I'm sorry, on the right, you can see where we have 2 more study rooms and a conference room. And on the other side of this, which I don't have a picture of, but you saw in the video, we had a large storage closet that was very big that we have turned over, and that's where the conference rooms and study rooms are on the other side of this wall. Downstairs on the first floor, we have the area now, which is the nonfiction collection. There's our big skylight over here. And you can see on the right, that's all been cleared. We're getting new shelving, and we'll put the books back. And then towards the back, you are going to see the learning lab. So this is the stacks behind the stairs. And now those stacks behind the stairs will be the admin offices and the large learning lab. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of some of our furniture as well. This is our finish board that has some of the patterns and colors that we'll be using with the new parts of phase one. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and open up a PDF so you could look at that as well. And I'm having a little bit of an issue, so just give me 1 second. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and just change this around. Just bear with me 1 minute. Okay, so this is the floor layout for the first floor. So you'd be coming in, this is an overhead view. You'd be coming in through the revolving door. This is all of the new seating that we have on here to the right. This is the new shelving. There's some soft seating over here. We have 2 large displays. We're going to put all the new materials area over here, and there is more shelving right over here by the stairs. And then we've also added some shelving by the walls. To the left, you can see how one of the arrangements of the tech center, that we could use the space as a classroom style with 16 seats. We could also break these tables down, they're nesting, and put them to the side of the room. We could also completely break down the tables and just use an open space. And then these are the assistant director's office and the director's office, which are to the lower left of your screen. This gives you an idea of what it's going to look at. This isn't true to the colors, so stay tuned for that when you come in person. So there's more soft seating here. These are the new tables that will have electricity and USB and USB-C outlets. And then over here, back here, these round items will be displaying our new materials. Here's another view of the layout for the first floor. This is a close-up of underneath the skylight with the display areas that I was talking about and some seating and some tables. This is all the shelving for the new books. And that's just one more view of from another angle of the first floor. This is the tech, excuse me, we're not calling it the tech training lab anymore. We're currently at the learning lab, so you can see that right there. And then these are the new admin offices. And then there's some other views here as well. This is the second floor layout. So over here is on the bottom is our new staff lounge. These are the two conferences I was speaking about. This area here was turned over to the public by repurposing our storage room. And then we have our 3 small study rooms. This is the current elevator. And again, this is towards the north side of the building. And then here to the upper left, we have the new ESL office, and then we have a bunch of seating here. So if you're waiting to use a study room or waiting for an appointment at the ESL office, you'll have someplace comfortable to sit. Here's some close-ups of the waiting area, the study rooms. This is our break room, one of the conference rooms, and the ESL office. Here's another overview from a different angle. Oh, excuse me. This is actually, we're on the ground floor now. So on the ground floor, this is the lower level basement. This is the staff area that is here to the left. And then we have conference room number 3 and study rooms 4 and 5. This is a look at technical services where the staff will work. This is another view of the study rooms. It's glass enclosed with doors, and there's the conference room on the lower level as well. And then here we have the new meeting room with the new orientation. We will also be putting in a art hanging system where we will have quarterly displays of local art. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and go back to my PowerPoint. So just give me 1 second. Okay, so our funding progress so far. So phase 1, we fulfilled a $50,000 pledge that we received right before everything shut down from COVID. We also got a grant from the New Jersey State Library Capital Projects Fund that was in the amount of $1 million. And then the rest was savings from libraries reserve. That's about $1.3 million. So through those 3 revenues, we are very fortunate to bring you phase 1. Phase 2 will be borough support. So the borough has already contributed $1 million to our project. And then the Friends contribution, which is a recent update. To date, the Friends have raised $170,000 for the project. And I think this is an amazing feat considering the organization is only 5 years old. So our total to raise is $4.05 million. That's our target. And I just want to talk a little bit about the federal grant that we received. It's actually, we were calling it through the state library grant, but it is the state library that administers the grant, which is actually coming from federal money, the US Treasury, that was leftover money from COVID. And in exchange for providing construction so we could offer phase 1, we've signed an agreement to offer programs for health, including telehealth, workforce development, and education. These are things the library currently does now, but we made a commitment to do this through 5 years. We will continue even past the 5 years to offer this type of programming because it's part of our normal scheduling that we do every quarter. We're very lucky through this grant that we have several partners. Actually, there's 10 of them, just to name a few: the Fort Lee Health Department, Holy Name Hospital, Labor and Literacy New Jersey, Bergen County Workforce Development. These are organizations that are helping to provide this expanded programming. So phase 2. We're saying that phase 2 begins with you. As I mentioned before, the Fort Lee Borough has committed to ensuring the future of the library. Over 94% of our $3.9 million operating budget is provided by the borough, which we are very fortunate to have. The Friends of the Library are actively seeking your help through fundraising. We also have naming opportunities in some of the rooms that we're building for phase one. Some of the lower level rooms have already been secured, and they now start at $8,000. And the Friends of the Library are putting together a donor wall, which will be right at the revolving door when you come in through that entrance at Main Street. So we have lots of ways that you can contribute. And again, we're asking people to help us, right? And our slogan is let's build our new library together. So just to recap, and there's a QR code here where it has links to everything that you can do. So the Friends of the Library have donor wall opportunities that are starting at $1,000. Again, you can name a room, or you can just make a general donation. And again, phase one is fully funded, and phase two, we're asking for this public's support. This is a rendering of the donor wall where there are individual plaques. So depending on the size, that's how the pricing is broken down. And there's also a very big naming opportunity over here where it says the Mr. and Mrs. Family Donor Wall. That's a $25,000 opportunity to have the whole entire wall named after your organization, business, or family. And here on the right, we have the sizes of the naming plates with the associated costs. So they go anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000. And then we also have the $25,000 opportunity. Let me just back up there. And again, this is the QR code where you can find all the information on how you can donate. I want to, as we near the end of this presentation, say that the library has tried everything possible by moving things around to make more space. If you do visit at busy times, you'll know that we're out of seats and we're out of room. Staff is often fighting with each other for rooms to do their programs in. So what we're telling everyone is that, this isn't a vanity project. The building is older. Some parts of the building were built in the late 60s and early 70s, and we really need a facelift. For those of you who have come in, the furniture has old, the carpet's old, and the space could just be repurposed in such a better functioning way. I would like to say that we feel like phase two has something for everyone. So if you're asking these questions like, why can't I find a seat in the afternoon? Why is it so noisy? Will we ever get new carpets? Do you have a small room I can work in or meet in? Can I grab a coffee or a snack and not have to leave the library? These are all things that will be addressed with phase two. So just to reiterate how you can help, there's ways to donate. This is the QR code, or you could visit giveflplfriends.org/new FLPL. And if you have any questions at all, I'm also going to show this on a slide at the end where it's nice and big. If you have questions about pledges, major gifts, and naming opportunities, I'd be happy to meet with you. And lastly, if you have any questions at all about this renovation, please don't hesitate to email me at yurgalonis@fortley.buckles.org. Thank you for watching this.